It is not much yet. Actually, right now it's still a room half full of my mother's things, which probably won't go away, just might get reorganized. And the other half literally only has my desk and my Hocus Pocus 30th anniversary poster. But that's about it. Um, if you watch my channel regularly, you will notice that there are some videos that have been, well, they're no longer visible right now. And there are several reasons for that. But one of the reasons is honestly, today sucked. Okay. It sucked. And one of the things that I've noticed is that when you're working on your own shadow stuff, Um, not that I have too much shadow stuff to work on when it comes to the death of my mother or other stuff, because I've done a lot of work on that already. But you know, we all have work to do. I get that. But it's amazing to me that every time I'm working on it, so are other people in my life. And then somehow, and I'm not quite sure how exactly, maybe it's because everybody's empathetic energy and empathetic, uh, you know, self is on overload. But somehow, like today, it became my fault. Like I can accept personal responsibility for my own shit because believe me, I have a lot. But um, it's amazing to me that you know things like that happen, and then people say, "Oh, well, it was a misunderstanding." No, it wasn't. Or it was whatever. No, it wasn't. It was everybody working on their shadow shit. And I'm not one that actually believes in the shadow work too much, even though I've done a lot of it. Because to be honest, I think it all winds into working where you are in your spiritual path and deciding how you want to move forward and resolving where you're at. I don't think it's because we all have dark places or dark spaces or whatever. I'm just using the verbiage shadow work because that's what everybody calls it. Um, I think it's literally just dealing with where you're at on your path right now. And sometimes it's just easier to blame other people. I mean, yeah, I do it. Um, although I try not to. I try to be cognizant of it anyway. But I think what happens is because one of the universal rules is like attracts like. So when you're going through something, it's inevitable, I guess, that you're going to attract people who are going through something similar, maybe. And but today I felt like a lot of shadow blame was thrown my way and not really deserved, I don't think. Yeah, I can own what part is my own shit, but anyway, I got to thinking that maybe I'm oversharing and sharing way too much on my channel, and it's now become something that's being used against me instead of um, to help me, which that's the only reason that I started making these kinds of videos on my channel. Talking about what was going on in my life, because I really, I tried the traditional route where you go and sit and talk to somebody, and to be honest with you, I have a completely deep distrust of psychiatry, psychology, counseling. Even though I am a spiritual counselor and a spiritual teacher, I have a deep distrust of the profession because of past situations that I've had to deal with. Like, for example, after my sexual assault in Massachusetts, the counselor that I saw literally told me that the reason that that happened to me was because I did not believe in Jesus enough. So, I went on to find someone different to speak to who wasn't necessarily a psi anything. And then lately, I have actually reached out and talked to a couple of different people, but I just, it's my own thing. I have such a deep distrust that, you know, I just don't see the point in that. I was actually told today that I needed professional help. Not new, sometimes when people are working on stuff or worried about you, they just say you need professional help. Not a bad thing. I didn't take it that way. But I was like, no. Sometimes, sometimes, honest to God, I just need a hug. Sometimes I just need a friend. Like today, I really needed a hug. Really bad. And it didn't happen. At least not yet. But anyway. Um, but I took down a lot of the videos that I felt could have been oversharing. Um, I'm not saying they're going to be down forever. I'm just saying they're down for right now because I didn't start making these videos to really to get views or even people to follow. I started making these videos because I tried to keep a journal and it wasn't working. And I really wanted a record of what I was going through with my mom, as well as my family at the time, and also um, what I've been going through since her passing. Because to me, it's an important thing to document in some way. I kind of looked at it as sort of like in honor of my mom a little bit, because my mom was in a huge part of my life. So when I'm doing these videos, it's almost sort of like I'm talking to her, you know? And they're supposed to be, YouTube says they're supposed to be entertaining videos. And we do have some of those. But yeah, today was a crummy day. Today was one of those days that I really, really wish I could like have just called mom and said, "Hey, you're not gonna believe this shit." Um, and she'd listen and then she'd slap back with one of her momisms that was probably somewhere along the line of you're grown, what the fuck are you doing? Or something like that. She really didn't use that word. She didn't swear too much, but when she did, you knew she meant it. It was actually weird to hear Mel swear. In her later years, she did all the time when I was a kid, but um, anyway. Now that I have this office in progress to show, um, I might as well say that I have plans have changed for me. Um, it's no longer an absolute set necessity for me to move right now, for which I'm grateful. And now maybe I could stop being so stressed, or at least a little bit less stressed. Um, and July is going to be a pretty big month. Um, so we need a few days for preparing. So right now it still echoes in here. When he came in here to bark because she had to go potty and all, it was just barking off the wall. Um, I haven't exactly figured out everything that I'm going to be doing in this office, but I think perhaps it's about time to get back down to work. I think actually being in the higher vibrations will be very good for me. Not that I haven't been, because I have. It's just that trying to get back to some normalcy. And now that I am actually sort of free to do so. I don't know if that's the right turn of phrase, but um, it feels a little better knowing that I can. So even though today was pretty crummy, and basically the end result is just I either crawl in a hole and cocoon myself and just stay at the world, which is literally how I felt for most of the day today. Or I was watching this, rewatching a couple of episodes of The Pit season 2 last night. And for those of you that know the character, Robbie looked at one that was on drugs. I can't think of his name now. The cute one. And said, "Doctor up." I think that's what I'm going to do. Not literally, because I'm not a doctor, but I think I'm going to do my very best to turn a very, very, very negative day into end it on a positive note and try to come out of it with a different mindset. And I think I've made a good start, even though it really, if I showed you guys, you'd be like, oh my God, it's a disaster. But it'll get better. I've got a lot of laundry to do. Um, maybe by finally making this ginormous room of my mom's useful, it might more than one way. So I think that's what. That was Father's Day. I was gonna go up and visit my dad. I usually do. Um, past 2 years I haven't. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to go tomorrow either. It's not that far of a drive. Because I get to spend time with my family. Um, but sadly, I use my trip money for groceries. So, priority, had to buy cat food. Um, so we'll find some things to do to honor my family. Not like I can leave things in the grave anyway. I really can't because his other children, my non-siblings, uh, take it down and get rid of it. Um, so, but still, I like to go and sit with him. Um, I know we're not giving more than what we can handle, but they push my limit really hard. And sorry for not sharing details of what happened. Just know that two wrongs don't make a right, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it all out. I wouldn't have this space for an office. My mom had hers home. Originally, my office was going to be in the cupboard beneath the stairs. Always make sure your wishes are known, written down, and you have someone you trust to execute.